Vader Games in the building. Let's switch some things up. I should have had that done from the get-go. What it is, I'm Vader Games. Let me make this full screen. There we go. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the show. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, always thought of and remembered. Listen, we got a bonus show. Was not expected. Was maybe going to look to take a break, or definitely I'm going to do some features tonight. Got to talk about the Derby. Got to do vibes at 6 with Egal. And then I shout out. I don't know if the word is out there yet, but I'm also doing doing a feature on Saturday preview going into Sunday's Derby. But let me say this. I'm your host. I'm Vader Games. First name Vader, last name Games. This is Vader Games TV. And on this channel in particular, I like to address a few things. Obviously, I like to express what I think about football, what I see in the world, and my agreements and disagreements. I also like to share things that I really don't agree with, things that I think are going unchecked, not only from a rival standpoint, but even within my Manchester City fan base. But what I like to do each and every show, and I'll remind you, if you're new, subscribe. If you're new, hit that like button. Also, keep in mind, this is 115. One question, 15 minutes. So I'm about to start the clock. I'm going to get on point. I'm going to address this right here. Stay tuned. Hear what I have to say. Obviously, I'm disappointed, and I'm going to break down exactly why. But yeah, these are other topics that I will tackle throughout the season. You guys have an effect on what actually goes up there, what gets talked about. I'm gonna have to put something up there to have to actually talk about Pep. Why is Pep questioned so much? Why is Pep doubted so much? I think we need to visit that, but also what we do each and every show. Doesn't matter whether it's 115, whether it's CIA, whether it's Why Always Me. I gotta shout out the very first person in the building. I gotta shout out the one that's like, Vader, I mess with you, I rock with you, I like what you're doing. I see the channel, I subscribed, I got the notification. I'm here in the comments, very first in the building. We got Twisted Fate in the building. He goes, big up Vader, finally catching the stream. I'm working on timing. Twisted, I'm working on some timing. I know there's a lot of competition out there. There's so much competition. There's people with different schedules. There's a time zone I got to deal with. Those that obviously love English football, love football in general. I'm over here out in Toronto, so the timing depends on the workday. The timing depends on life. So I'm trying to find the right sweet spot. The right sweet spot. And obviously there's a lot of features that get asked of me, and those are in the evening. So I gotta be smart with it. Listen, Mateo in the building. He goes, what's good, Blues? Shouting out everybody in the building. I got my guy RSM. Like the stream, everybody. He's reminding you, thank you for popping in here. This man may not like what I have to say with regards to the topic today, but it is what it is what they say. Letty, good looking out. Subscribe, like, hit the comment. Thank you so very much. Listen, I appreciate the subs. I do. The numbers have been. I'm humble. I'm surprised that so many of you actually tune in and want to listen to this. And not only that, those that listen live, but then I'm also seeing the numbers of those that listen post. Much appreciated. I'm going to continue to work on things. You guys have all been very generous on stream and off, so thank you so very much. Hit the like button, people. Listen, Maza, what? Vader, Terry, you keep it. Okay, Vader, Terry, you keep saying Pep doesn't build the club, but how our Centurion team is completely different to the Trouble team without building. He's waffling every time he's talking about Pep. He can't help himself. He's a United fan. He does his best. Don't get me wrong. He does his best to try and stay balanced, right? Be a host and let the others on the show speak. But he can't help himself when it comes down to his defense, his guarding of Sir Alex Ferguson and what Pep's doing. But let me start the clock. I'm gonna star these comments. I'm gonna be in it. Trust me, B. When are you? Listen, I got you. I got StreamYard open right now. Letty, I got you. It's huge. Listen, even my mod game's not that strong. My mod game needs to improve. I need to do that. And that's something I need to open up a different tab and get onto it. But I will do that. Good looking out. I've been fortunate, knocking on wood, that those that do mess with me, those that do come into the stream, those that interact, they're respectful. Right? I think it's what you give is what you get back. Everything's been nice and respectful. I'm knocking on wood. I haven't had any clowns that have gone out of the way to ruin the show. So thank you very much. But I will look to make you a mod, Letty. Good looking out. Only KDB and Edison were in both teams. Trust me. I got you, Letty, though. I got you. Now, I got to start the clock because that's what y'all tune in for. You know that this is one question, 15 minutes. So let me stay on point. And also, when you're following along with the show, you know exactly how to time it and when I go from discussing my topic to then going beyond and we interact. All right, so let's do this. Let me make sure I also got this nice and clean so you know what's happening here. Vader game. Listen, the clock has started. We are going with the 115. Now, listen. This came out of nowhere. I was chilling. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was chilling. Did not expect this. I wake up, see the notification, see what's happening all over on the timeline. I'm like, whoa, this is unexpected. And then the day progresses, and then you're like, it wasn't so long ago that the energy about the 115, ironically, this show, one question, 50 minutes, 115, the energy, the conversation, the vim, right? Just the whole perspective, the narrative with regards to what was happening with the 115. And now with this 74 charges, the 74 charges that are now applied to Chelsea, I've noticed a huge difference, a big difference. And I'm not going to do the trolling thing. I'm not going to do the banter thing just yet. I'm going to hold off on that. But understand that what I saw yesterday, what I heard yesterday, what I actually witnessed being on a show yesterday was absolutely disgusting to me. The level of inconsistency. I say it all the time. Like, I know I know YouTube isn't real, but in a way it should be real. I know that how people interact, yes, there's some shamelessness. Yes, there's like banter. Yes, there's like rivalry, but where's the foundation? Where's the realness? And I wasn't seeing the realness yesterday. Like, Chelsea FC charged with breaching FA regulations. All right. I'm now listening to how the Chelsea fans are reacting to it, how the Chelsea fans are trying to position things, how the Chelsea fans were throwing their previous owner under the bus. I'm going to explain why the Chelsea fans' reaction to the 74 charges were disappointing, continue to be disappointing. And I see you in the comments. I'm going to get to you guys. There's a rule out there, social contract, right? I'm not going to say it's a man's rule or a woman's rule. It's just a rule. You don't snitch. You don't snitch. That's period. Whether you're a square, whether you're just a civilian, a citizen, or whether you're on the other side, you don't snitch. Now, what snitching means is you don't tell on others, right? You don't point the finger out there if it's not affecting you. If it's affecting you, it's different. Obviously, you bring the law in hand or whatever, but you don't snitch on others. What I was so disappointed with yesterday, and I started taking note, is one, these charges are Chelsea's charges. These charges are dated way back. They're dated to what, 2010, in some instances 2009, coming over all the way to 2022. And I get it, it was under a previous owner. We got new owners and they don't want to be painted with the same brush. But my disappointment is you snitched on yourself, and I accept it. I accept that you snitched on yourself. You're like, I'm guilty, take me in, whatever the penalties are, I'll accept it. I get that Chelsea fans did that. Now, my disappointment, however, and this is from what I was listening to, what I was hearing, to what I was also in person on a stream with. They're your charges. Why are you mentioning my name? There are Chelsea's charges. Why are you mentioning Manchester City's name? That was the biggest disappointment yesterday. Will Smith would have done us proud because he would have smacked these Chris Rocks that kept mentioning Manchester City every time it was about the 74 charges. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, this is the problem. You can snitch on yourself. This is where we got social contracts, social rules, rules of the street, whatever, rules of the neighborhood. You can snitch on yourself. You can turn yourself in. But don't talk about the next man. Don't talk about the next woman. What are you doing here? You can't snitch on others. That's the rule you cannot break. And if you're snitching before you even get in, you're snitching even before you get in. What are you giving up when you're inside? What are you snitching on when you're inside? Let me go to the comments real quick. I know I've fallen behind, but thank you all for being so patient. RSM in the building. Oh, hold on. Twisted First says, Vader, just saying, United could have done 5 in a row if they could have done 5 in a row if they didn't cheat. And again, they've turned themselves in. They've also said that there's no competitive sporting advantage. Interesting. But yeah, like now what is interesting is you got the Liverpool's, Arsenal's, and United's. You got them talking about Chelsea with what they would have won had it not been. It's going to be interesting to witness those defense. Unlike the City case, where I doubt it's 100% true, they self-reported they did. They did. RSM, a Chelsea fan in the building, the Vim. Listen, if the charges came out right after or during our league wins, okay. If it came out right after you won, okay, I get it. It would be bigger news, to be honest. City's 115 had harsher reaction because it was in the middle of the Pep City reign. Do you know that they brought up things from way back before the City dominance, though? And at the same time, my issue is the appointed guilt, certainty of guilt. This is the thing that was driving me crazy. And I'm disappointed because when City were facing the 115, did you hear us talk about Chelsea? Did you hear us talk about Liverpool? Did you hear us talk about... We owned it. My manager's up there talking about we will fight this. We will fight this. My CEO, director, we're talking about now. We had nothing to do with any other clubs. So disappointed. So disappointed. Take me in so Everton get punished instead. Listen, it was wild. It was wild. RSM also goes on to say, Chelsea following the City model of beating the FA charges. Well, you're not beating any charges. You've accepted, you admitted guilt. So I don't know how you're beating charges. If you think that you're beating charges because of the penalty that you face or will face, okay, but you're not. The City model is saying we're not guilty and fighting it. The city model is also, oh, you know what? We are, and not even, and this isn't even turning ourselves in and self-reporting, but we are guilty of not returning to the pitch soon enough after second halves. That's for the league to come and tell us. We're not monitoring when we go back out onto the pitch and being like, by the way, guys, we failed to come to the pitch for 15 games, delaying the game by 2-3 minutes. Yeah, we're turning ourselves in. Nah, that ain't us. That ain't us. I'm so disappointed in the lack of fight that I'm seeing from Chelsea and Chelsea fans. Under Roman, they were fighters. They were like, no business. We're going out and doing it. Such a difference. This new Chelsea. Proper Chelsea means something else now. Proper Chelsea has a different meaning. It rings different. It's heard different in the streets. Proper Chelsea don't hit the same. It doesn't. Herbal in the building. He goes, why not just wait and see what the FA know? Seems so silly to self-report. It does, right? It does seem a little silly to self-report. I get it. At the point of the transaction, right? Club going from one hand to another, they're like, oh, you know what? We're doing our forensic accounting and all this stuff. We're seeing these issues, and you know, we want to make this forward. And again, the funny thing is, they wanted to present this forward to lower the price. We're seeing some discrepancies. We're seeing some issues here. Mark down the price. You ever go shopping, or you know, you're haggling, or you want to negotiate, or maybe it's the last floor model, or maybe it is it's a display model, or it's the last one in the store, and you're like, you notice a little dent, the box isn't perfect. Hey, knock down a few. They're like, listen, we see that some clerical financial numbers don't seem to be matched up here where they're supposed to go, or what was supposed to come out of the club. I'm not seeing something here. It looks a little shady to me. Can you knock off 100 mil on this purchase? Not knock off 100 mil, because we want this deal to be cheaper because of this. That's what's happening here. Spartacus in the building. He goes, cheating bees. Get them relegated. Now, we will wait. Spartacus, don't do that too much. We will wait to see what the FA determine to be the right punishment. The can of worms that this is open, Spartacus, is the FA are going to deal with things. There's ramifications. There's a spill. There's a slippery slope. There's a domino effect on what is going to happen now with the Premier League as well. And there is double jeopardy. There is the FA, and then there's the Prem. It's going to be very interesting. I am watching arm's length to see what they happen to do. 74 charges. What quick math? Let's say roughly that's half of what we get. It's going to be interesting. I'm watching. Herbal, the FA didn't know anything. They said arrest the previous. You guys are killing me. That would be my guess as well. They like the American owners. I actually doubt they would have charged them. I think there's going to be a lot exposed right now. Oh, before I forget, and I know I'm all over the place. I see you all in the comments. I'm going to keep up. Before I forget, because this reminds me, there's a majority rule with regards to ruling within the Prem, right? 14 rule. 14 clubs have to decide for things to move forward. I could be wrong, but I think my numbers are pretty right. As of now, I believe there are 11 clubs owned by Americans. There's American ownership of 11 clubs. It's the English game, English football. I know football is a world game, but this is the Premier League. This is the English sport. I'm telling you now. Be wary. Be careful who you let in your house. Once there's majority American Prem team ownership, the floodgates. All the things that you don't like with what may be happening with the sport, away, out of country games. I'm warning you right now. You keep letting these American owners in, you're going to lose your sport. Large up, Mancunian way, good looking up. He goes big up. Hope all is well. All is great, man. Thanks for being in the chat. Thank you so very much. RSM goes, yes. I know they brought up old charges for City in the 115, but my point still stands. If you get charged during your reign at the top, it would have been. I hear it. I hear it. Now, if we were clever enough, and I'm not assuming guilt, but if we were doing what we were doing and it so happened to come out 10, 15 years later, is what I'm hearing that the reaction, like you're saying, the reaction in general would have been like, doesn't really, like, it would have been soft the way the reaction is for Chelsea. I kind of hear it. I mean, on the banter thing and what some rivals are saying is like, no one really cares about Chelsea. That's why it's not getting that heat. You know what I mean? Like, or it was all suspected anyways because of the perception of Roman Abramovich and obviously of what the rumors and what the whispers were kind of talked about back then. I hear it. RSM also goes, I also people did ask for Chelsea to be charged when City got charged. People inquired. I don't think they said Chelsea should be charged. And regardless, RSM, what other people were doing shouldn't have been you. I should not have been a panel with you pointing at me when you're getting charged, when you're getting hemmed up and brought out. You shouldn't have been pointing at me and being like, what about Vader? Vader been cheating too. So disappointed. So many Chelsea fans did that. Yesterday, so many Chelsea fans were saying, what about City? Disgusting. That's not what you do. That's not what you do, RSM. Twisted. The self-reported knowing they're guilty and expected to work like the police. Listen. If there's any truth to I did really major bad cheating things, but I self-reported, therefore my punishment is lax. Think about that slippery slope, right? Think about all of the I'm gonna break the rules knowingly, and as it benefits me, and before it's kind of gonna get leaked or get caught, I'm gonna be like, guys, I did something wrong. Mercy on the court. Listen, Twisted, it's crazy. Nah, Spartacus, we ain't asking for nothing. We're not asking for anything back. We're not doing that. That's what the other club's been doing. That's how they've been crying, right? You got the Liverpool's crying, give me these trophies. You had Arsenal crying, give me these trophies. You had United crying. Let them all cry to Chelsea. Let them do all that, saying Chelsea owes this. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that. Especially, Spartacus, we're not doing that until the rulings come out. I have no problem saying that someone's a cheat. Right now, you can call Chelsea cheats because they've said, we're like, I've heard Chelsea fans themselves said they've cheated. But until it's official, until the word's out, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's for the officials to determine. I know. I'll mess with you. Giniesta in the building. They will try and found something on Villa and Newcastle next. They don't seem to like ambitious owners, I would agree, who want to break into the... Hey, listen, Wijnaldum. I've been saying that the Red Cartel and the Red Cartel hate the name and they want to now include many in the Red Cartel. But the Red Cartel, fundamentally, the beginning, go back. They wanted the fence up. They wanted it closed. They want it all closed up. We'll be the three clubs steady competing for the Prem. Everybody will kind of make money. We'll give some sprinkles here and there. You get a domestic, but with regards to the ones that are going to be dominating the Prem and playing in the UCL, they wanted it to be those three. The Red Cartel wanted it to be those three. Anyone else threatens their quote unquote dominance. The level of dominance and why they're quote unquote historic clubs is because of what they've done in the past. They don't want anyone challenging their future. It's crazy. The scrutiny of anyone coming through. Those historic clubs. Imagine FFP back then. Imagine PSR back then, quote unquote, even playing field. An ambitious owner wanted to bring their local club up to prominence and dominance. That doesn't happen. Oh, the good old days, they want to say. Miza in the building. Chelsea FC faces 74 charges for breaching rules on agents, intermediaries, and third-party player investments from 2009 2022. That's a long time. Mainly under former Roman Abramovich. The charges involve deals. Now, they want to argue that this didn't have any competitive advantage. To say that this didn't have any competitive advantage, I'm going to wait to see what the ruling is. Because if financial exchanges in terms of getting favorable outcomes for players that can compete for the club gets deemed not a sporting advantage, woo-hoo-hoo! Talking about precedent, if they say that financial favorable outcomes with the acquisition of players and those players now for the club does not lead to a competitive advantage, that precedent's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. If, and I'm not saying that we are, but if there happened to be some wrongdoing at Manchester City on what the possible punishments may be, because I don't know how one financial advantage not leading to sporting advantage can be argued one way or the other. I don't know. I don't know the logic on that one, but it's very interesting to me. Miza goes, like Eden Hazard and Williams transfer, Chelsea self-reported the issue. Yeah, they self-reported the issue. Yeah, no. And a large fine is expected. Is 8? I'm hearing like 8-10 mil. Is that a large fine? But no points deduction or sporting sanctions are likely. It's interesting on how things are discussed right now. It's interesting. I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting. We got 7 days, right? September 19th is when Chelsea need to come out with something formally, and I'm sure that's going to be put out there in the news. Whew. I'm with you. All right, Sam. We are Loopholes FC. Okay. That's another word for lawyer being lawyered up, and have very smart people running that part of the club. They self-reported because they knew we would get smack on the wrist versus the FA finding out themselves and us getting cooked. I get it. And RSM, I had no problem with you self-reporting. I had no problem with you turning yourself in. I have no problem with you realizing that you had done something wrong. My whole thing, RSM. My whole thing. My reason for this show, the disappointment largely, is because of how you and other Chelsea fans spoke on Manchester City. I get the self-reporting. I get the not wanting to have a harsher punishment. I get all that. But as you're walking in to the police station, as you've turned yourselves in, as you're sitting, got the camera going because they're going to record your statement, as you're sitting by the table, you give up. And I from you, I know we're not Blue Brothers. I know that. You've made that very clear. But you gave up. You gave up information. You said, go look over there at Manchester. Go look at the blue side of Manchester. That was disappointing. Unacceptable. Can't do that. You can't. I don't like it. I do not know the game's the game. I don't. Stop it. I don't know the game's the game like that. You're breaking rules. Listen, obviously there's a difference in generations between me and RSM. All right. RSM, there's no platinums in RSM. All right. He's got the futures ahead of him. Right. I mean, like, the future's ahead of me as well, but there's time that has passed for me on this planet. The rules are changing. The game is not the game. The game's changed. You're breaking rules in the game. You don't snitch on others. You can snitch on yourself. You don't snitch on others. It's disgusting. Twisted. Chelsea can't even cheat right. Right? They can't even hold it. They can't hold it right. If you can't play the game, don't play it. Don't play it. Mateo in the building. The sad thing is, quietly supporting City. And I don't openly tell people that I'm a City fan because I'm fed up with the political confrontation. Yeah. Hey, I'm with you. It becomes an interesting conversation. I have a really good friend. We gamed tough. We gamed for a good easily like a good 4 years online where it was at the time it was FIFA, now it's EAFC. But we gamed all the time, and he same gen as me, but he hated Chelsea, he hated City, and he hated the way he talked about any back in the day club trying to get into competing again, right? When you get like the Aston Villas that are trying to like obviously get back into it and spending big. The way he talked about PSG, another thing. But I just found it so ironic that if a club wasn't able to sustain their investment over the years and kind of fell off, Blackburn, look at Forest Cup making their way back. Like even you look at Aston Villa, like money is needed, but the vib he had, they shouldn't even be considered. I couldn't agree with him, man. We were always fighting on that one, and he was an Arsenal fan. Funny enough. RSM, the only reason the self-report for a reduced sentence will work in this case is because a new owner reported the misdeeds of the last owner. Otherwise, it won't work. So what prevents the discounted sale of a club between owners? Right? Like obviously no one wants to give up a club like this, but if any owner just had a vision of, for let's say 5 years, 10 years, I want to get this club to this level. As I get this club to this level, how I'm going to be in the media, how I'm going to be seen, grassroots to giant challenger to top of the mountain, and then out of there is like, I'm selling it, I'm out. Like some shell companies, that's actually not surprising, RSM. All right, in the business world and financial world, right? Some of these umbrella companies, some of these upstarts, they do their business, blah blah blah, flip, and then they're out selling shares, and then they're out of there before the whole thing crumbles down. Some Ponzi schemes and all that kind of. I'm just saying, you self-reporting's convenient. It was needed. All right, old owner to new owner, you had to do it. But such a bad look. Chelsea, I'm gonna be honest with you. Proper Chelsea, up the Chelsea, it don't hit the same. Don't sound right. Twisted. Honestly, as a United fan, I doubt 115 is true. Maybe like 20 max, but not 115. And they all honestly are stupid little things. Listen, that's the messed up thing is, we know that not everyone goes into the details of things and sees what's actually being reported, what's being talked about. I'll be completely honest, Twisted, and I appreciate you saying this. There's things that were done or questioned financially. Get all that. There's things that were done procedurally. There's things that weren't or were done from a cooperative standpoint in terms of timely sharing of information, and those are charges in itself. The 115 is blown up. Sam, all I'm saying is the narrative is quite different to Chelsea Chargers, right? The difference between City Chargers reaction and this one is telling. It's huge. Sam, you said it absolutely perfect. I was chilling in a cut yesterday. I was like, let me not. I'm typically by nature I am like this. Like I like to observe my surroundings. I like to see. Let me gather the information before I actually put an opinion out there. Let me see how things are being reported. Let me see how things are being reacted to. And for a Chelsea that got into the game financially competing with the likes of the Uniteds, the Liverpools and the Arsenals back in the day, for them being the first in the mix and for them to get in the mix and obviously you talk to the talent that they got to be competing the way they did and how they were talked about. I remember everyone bringing up legacy questions for the manager. Sam, they wanted to bring up, does this affect Pep's legacy? Like what he's accomplished. I didn't hear any of that with regards to that span of time with the Chelsea managers. Jose is great. Is his legacy questioned? Is his back-to-back taking away United from their dominance? Is that in question? Energy's mad different, Sam. Mad different. City were the ones City were the one that gate crashed. Absolutely. They did not want us at the party. They did not. The Red Cartel did not want anybody else. They didn't. And under the guise of FFP, which was so talked about, so defended by Simon Jordan, that joker over there, to now he's backtracking and be like, you know what? FFP isn't really having the impact that it was intended to. Oh, it's having the impact that it was intended to. It was to prevent anyone else coming in to compete. It absolutely did what it's supposed to do. Now, this PSR as well, like, you can only invest based off of what you make. That really prohibits an owner that has put away some cash, has maybe earmarked what they would want to do to invest to get the club back to competing. PSR prevents all of that. Sorry, Newcastle. Sorry, Aston Villa. Sorry, Nottingham Forest. Because you guys aren't revenue generators like that, you got to wait. You got to do it the nice and progressive way. Though you got to do it the way that any competitor that's already at the top of the hill can clearly see where you're coming from and prepare and adjust. It's disgusting. Letty, hope I've not missed much. Had to step. Nah, listen, the beauty about it is, and again, the show is 115. So the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm on point. I'm getting everything that's part of the discussion off my chest. And now I'm interacting with the chat. Good looking out, everybody. And I try to stay on point. I don't want to do a Manchester City Manchester United derby preview. I don't want to do that on this show. I do want to say, now that I'm live with you guys, and it reminds me, shout out to Rico Lewis. Absolutely great. If I change this, will that affect something here? Hold on. Shout out to Rico Lewis. Contract extension. I don't know the full details of it. But I'm so happy for our academy player getting that shot. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me see if I can find something for Rico. Oh, did I bookmark it? Oh, I'm losing my touch. I did not bookmark it. But shout out to Rico, here till 2030. And I like how they kind of revealed it. He was sitting at his phone. His unlock code was 2030, and it showed a nice image of him. But great for Rico Lewis. Also, can't help but also make mention Calvin Phillips. This is what I love. There's no banishment of players unless you do a madness step to a manager, throw hands or anything like that. But a player does have an opportunity to come back, fix up, get your mind right, get your body right, get your attitude right. There's room for you to come back home. Jack Grealish is sent on loan. He's not sent to Everton. He's not banished. He's not sold. Go out, find your love of football again. Find what you know you can and cannot do. Get that groove back. You're welcome back. Player of the month, well earned, and enjoy your loan. You'll be back soon. You'll be back soon. All right, let me put this back on screen because I don't want to mess it up. And I want anyone that's tuning in to still be on point and see what's going on. Now, I'm going to go to the comments. Where did I start the last one? Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourself. What did you say here? Herbal goes, regarding the 115, I do believe it's safe to say we'll get found guilty on the non-cooperation charges. I agree. And good. I mean, yeah, would be. Why should we help them? This is the thing. They were fishing from the beginning. That's why it's also very different, right? There were quote unquote leaked emails that how could you even judge the validity? How could you even know that they weren't doctored to then say, I'm building a case to now want to investigate on the club? On top of that, we can't ignore, although many rivals want to ignore, this was fought. Many of the things that are in question were fought with UEFA. UEFA's verdict where City are innocent. We're hashing up old stuff. I love that Khaldoon was like, yeah, we'll have our day in court. We will deal with things and we'll move forward. He also said, which was ironic with regards to the whole Chelsea stuff. But again, unlike Chelsea and the Chelsea fans, we ain't saying names. Unlike Chelsea fans, we ain't saying names. Khaldoon just said, be careful throwing stones in a glass house. That's what he said. That's what he said. So listen, my disappointment moving forward, I hope it stops. I hope it reduces. I hope it doesn't happen again. Chelsea fans moving forward, keep Manchester City out your mouth. Let's not have a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment. Just talk about you guys. You self-reported. All this City did that. Stop it. Let's stop that. Twisted. Guys, whilst using the red cartel, remember, United was also ambushed by the Prem, allowing the Glazers to take on United with substantial debt. It's really why I stand with City against the Prem. That's a great point. That is a great point. Now, when you have United fans that happen to not see the irony of what was allowed through with the Prem being in charge or the authority and the whole thing that's happened with the Glazers, even now also seeing how the Prem have rushed and they didn't do things quote unquote right with the quality that was needed with the APT, to then now have so much confidence that what they're doing with regards to how they're depicting City to be right and accurate. It's going to be a good day. It will be a good day. Wijnaldum goes, only way for Newcastle to narrow the gap is to bring in more revenue streams and higher sponsorship. Very true. And that is a challenge because the other revenue streams and sponsorships cannot come out of the same region because this whole APT rule, it's going to be too closely related third party or associated party transactions. It's not looking good for Newcastle. And that's easier said than done. It was easier. It's now incredibly hard. Premier League blocked many deals for, Nottingham Forest as not deemed fair market value. Trust me, it's nasty. It's nasty out there. Newcastle, I'm gonna say this, and sometimes it gets taken as like, oh, I'm only saying it as a City fan, but I say it from a business model with regards to the consumer. Okay. So we've all heard the consumer's always right. Okay. Now, if you're the one individual and you've got to create many SKUs, many variations, many design differences, it can get costly. It can become ineffective because like what you do and it doesn't quite hit because the majority of the consumers buy one item versus the other. Okay, but from a prem standpoint, the prem eats like I mean the prem eats. The more clubs are competing, the prem, those that are kind of like involved with maybe holding on to a legacy or a hierarchy, they're flawed in their thinking. Their thinking works if it's with regards to keeping the money within a certain few clubs, right? Keeping things easy. But financially, the more competitors are in the mix, the more the more the prem's gonna be eaten. Listen, I'm gonna use this example with regards to American sports, right? And NBA typically there's only a few clubs that have won the NBA championship. Okay, there's only really not even a handful of clubs that have won the championship many times, right? The reason why, if you go back generation wise, if you go back and you see the reason why there was such a madness with regards to the Chicago Bulls, yes, of course, Michael Jordan, the guy, Michael Jordan did mad things when it really became a global sport with how it was televised and things like that. But you have that run, and then when you have the one-offs, right? When you end up having the one-offs like a Cleveland, oh, Cleveland actually had two, but when you have like a Cleveland, when you end up having like actually did Cleveland have two? No, Cleveland had one. LeBron had two in Miami. But when you have the one-offs, there's a spike. There's a spike of like all these fans that never imagined, never envisioned having this level of success. They're now, oh, I got this may not happen again. I'm buying this, I'm buying that. I'm taking my kids to go witness this. We're having watch parties. We're doing all of this madness because it's so rare. It's a new inclusion of a club. If it's always the same old, again, the same old, you can set your clock to it. This will be the clubs you're going to be cheering for. But the influx, it's crazy. I saw this. I saw it with the Raptors. I saw it with regards to the Raptors. It was a madness. Everywhere you went, every school, every advertisement, the memorabilia was all over the place. The Prem will eat when you have not just Liverpool, not just United, not just Arsenal competing. When you have I got to worry about a Chelsea. Oh, now you got that whole influx of wanting to buy with regards to Chelsea. Now you have the TV rights for these broadcasters that now also want to have Chelsea games. You now add Manchester City. You now want to, well, you're preventing, but imagine if you also had a Newcastle. Imagine you also had Aston Villa. Like if you look at the list, you got Spurs. They just won, so I'm gonna include them. But you have 10 clubs that you're like, I don't know who's winning this, or you got the fan base of all those 10 clubs and they're all like all giddy and excited and thinking that they're going to be making it to the final day. And I'm telling you, they're missing the boat. They're missing the boat. I had a hilarious conversation on Twitter X Spaces. I think it was 3 years ago when a Liverpool fan and a United fan were trying to argue the Prem only need Liverpool and United. Like if the Prem could have Liverpool United pretty much guaranteed that they're going to be competing for trophies for the next 5 years, they easily take that. That'd be good business. No, you need variety. You need some differences, and they're missing the boat. They are absolutely missing the boat. Let me go to. Well, not only goes, I agree with you, Vader, but the Prem see it from a different point of view. They do, and will try to appease the clubs who bring in the most eyes on their club. But they bring in the most eyes on their club, but that's also temporary. That's also temporary. It's not the most eyes by club. You should be looking at the most eyes by clubs. That's where they're missing the boat. But I hear you on this one, which is a pity for clubs like Villa, Newcastle, Forest, Everton. I agree with you. Miza in the building goes, Vader, have you ever seen some of the Fulham players saying KDB is the Premier League GOAT? When? I did not see this. Was this in a game versus City or what? Like, when was this? When was this? I did not see this. But I'm not surprised because he is that guy. And actually, everybody in the chat, it's going to be an emotional week. I play United on Sunday. I then play Napoli, KDB. And then I play Arsenal. It's going to be a long week. It's going to be an emotional one. It's going to be an emotional one. So bear with me. I'm working on a few things, all right? I'm messing around with some new intros. I definitely want you guys to know or have a better sense on when I'm going live. I know my intro vid allows some time. Hopefully it's good, but I'm working on that. I'm going to do a feature today on Igal's channel, Igal Talks Football. Look out for me doing a feature. I hope that's still happening with Sheik TV, a United fan. We're going to be going back and forth. And then an appearance on the Football Terrace post game. Oh, we need to win this game. We need to win this game. But and I want to go in depth. I want to go in depth with who we have available too. So tune in because I do want to talk about our available players. I do want to talk about how I would like to see Pep play. And when I say I'd like to see, it's like, this is my suggestion. I'm not going to kill it with Pep. Pep's the greatest for a reason. I'm not going to question him too much. You posted it on Twitter? Okay, I'm going to check that out. Pity that Man City versus Napoli is being played at the same time as the Barca and Newcastle. Would have liked. Listen, that's the. Ooh, damn! That reminds me. I need to pay for my my DAZN subscription so that I could have the game recorded and go back to watch it. So yeah, good looking out, Ronaldo. Good looking out. I need to catch that. They named KDB CR7 Ari only. That was it. I respect it. I respect it. KDB is that guy. KDB. Listen, you gotta remember and you gotta cherish the good times. Obviously, how he left last season, disappointing. Would have liked for us to, you know what the most disappointing thing was? Not winning that FA Cup. Yeah, we won the Community Shield, but not to end the season with that FA Cup. That hurt. That hurt. Oh, and I also want to do a show. I want to talk about the upcoming inductees for the Hall of Fame. Obviously, City players shortlisted there. But yeah, I'm going to want to talk about that. David Silva. Listen, everybody in the chat, I see you in the comments. My disappointment with Chelsea will only continue if Chelsea fans continue to mention City. Self-reporting, I got no problem with it. Talking about others while you're being pulled in, I do have a problem with it. Hit that like button, please. Let me go. Let me see where we're at. Let me try to do this. Where the supporting numbers at? What you guys saying? So I'm now at 1,015. Good looking out. Thank you so very much. Every sub helps. Every like helps. Every comment. So thank you all so very much for supporting the channel. My next show has got to be a 115. I think my next show is going to be 115. I think I'm going to do reactions, or maybe I'll add a different show. I'll add a new show that's maybe reaction based. Yeah, I'll add a new show that's reaction based. Let me figure that out. But good looking out. let me stop waffling on. Let me stop dragging this on. Let me go to enjoy this outro. This is a short list of shows that I've done over the past. And hopefully you enjoy the thumbnails and the titles. But I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV, another episode of 115, one question, 50 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I see you all in the comments. I am so appreciative. Thank you, and I appreciate that. Beans on Toast, thank you for tuning in. Yo, Wijnaldum, Miza, everybody, Twisted, thank you guys. We'll be back. You know it. I'm out. Bless.